done doing our PowerPoint presentation on the Great Migration. And just look at the objectives real quick. You guys will be able to identify at least 2 reasons as to why the Great Migration occurred with 100% accuracy. And after looking at the map and discussing the PowerPoint, you'll also be able to know which states were most affected, both north and the south. And then later we're going to be watching a YouTube video, but I'll concentrate more on that objective later because I don't want to give away too much of what we're going to be doing. But today, to kind of supplement the PowerPoint and so that I understand that you guys are gaining an understanding and to kind of learn about the Great Migration from 2 different perspectives. We're going to be looking at this book, and it's called The Great Migration, The American Story by Jacob Lawrence, and he does really awesome illustrations. So if you learn through looking, you can kind of look at pictures and learn what's happening that way. And also we're going to be looking at journal entries, so if you like English and language, that way you can kind of get an understanding. But I have slides I'm going to show you so you guys can see the pictures a little bit better. If you guys want to look through this, it has some explanations, but you can just pass around that. I'm going to show you the exact same pictures, but I'm just going to pick out a few. I have some name cards so that way you guys don't have to volunteer. You're just going to get to volunteer yourself. This first picture, take a look at it and think about how this represents the Great Migration. So, Chris, you're the first one. How would you say, if you can't read it, it says Chicago, New York, and St. Louis. How does that represent the Great Migration and what we learned?
Everybody's migrating to the northern city.
Okay. Good job. Does anyone want to add to that?
It looks really, really packed. Like there's a lot of people. Like it's a big number of people.
Awesome. It shows the massive amount of people, and 3 of the top cities, New York, Chicago, and St. Louis, that are coming from the south to north, like Chris pointed out. I'm not going to ask you guys this one, but this one just shows, again, the railroad, because that's mainly how people got there. If you can see, it's not like railroads we know today. It's wood, so it's a little bit different. Ron, can you tell me why this picture represents the Great Migration?
Because that's the illegal tax on cotton plants.
Awesome. They destroyed a lot of the cotton plants down south, so there's just another reason why African Americans had to leave there. Jordan, why does this represent the Great Migration? This one kind of...
It's a use the Jim Crow that was going down in the south, so they're escaping discrimination.
Awesome. Perfect. Lynching down in the south would make you not want to live there anymore. We're just going to look at 2 more. I'm going to skip a bunch just for time, but like I said, you can look through the book, and the book will be in the classroom. So this one is when people got to the north. So, Jackie, what is in this picture that could represent that time period?
There's still segregation pretty much everywhere, so they have the white side and the left side of the restaurants again.
Perfect. There's a very distinct line drawn down the middle, black seat on one side and white seat on the other side. So this shows that if you look through the book, it's separated in different parts, and this is when they moved to the north and how segregation followed them north. And the last one we're going to look at for now, this one. Now this one isn't in the north. This is a previous one. I forgot to show this one. So think about that, and others not here. Haley. What about this picture can you see? This is the south now.
I think it shows like the people, is it people like working in the fields?
Yeah, they're working in the fields, and there's one more thing that you can kind of notice if you look. It's kind of hard to see, it's kind of small, but anybody see it? If you look at the woman at the top, she's white, and the woman on the bottom is black, and there's a river separating them, so it resembles the segregation in the south as well, and another reason to move north. So you guys kind of understand how this can be relayed back to our PowerPoint, how art can show what, illustrate history too. It's not just for artists and whatnot. Okay, now the next thing we're going to do real quick, if you could get into these groups, we're going to have one group is going to be Ron, Jordan, and Haley, and then Aaron, Chris, and Jackie in another group if you guys want to get into those groups. The next thing while you guys are figuring all that stuff out, this is a diary. It's from the Dear America series. It's not true, but it's based on historical facts, and if you look through the books, I'll have this in the classroom as well. They do for Civil War, Revolutionary War, and whatnot. But it's all based on historical facts, and it's a really good way to get a feeling for how people felt during these different time periods. So can anyone, just by raising hands, will not raise their hands, but a volunteer, tell me why it's important to look at journal entries when we're regarding history. Rob?
To understand how people are feeling, because sometimes you can't get the whole story from just looking at it generally. You have to look at it by looking at somebody's point of view who lives through.
Awesome. It's an awesome way. It's just like a lot of you, by show of hands, who has a journal or had a journal diary? See, someone 100 years from now looked at that, they could see the culture of your school by reading your journal and seeing what interested you and comparing it to other people. So if I could have a volunteer from our first group. Yeah. Okay. You're going to read the Wednesday, March 5th, 1919. This is all the year 1919. Read it to the class real loud.
Okay. Want to stand up?
If you want to.
Okay. Tonight the room felt very small and stuffy, so I raised the window and sat on the window seat. And now I'm writing. Winter is over, but there's a chill in the air. Can't help but think about Uncle Pace. Either he nor any of the men hanged last year will see the lilac when we hear the Robin Sweet song. Uncle Pace is gone, they're all gone.
Thank you very much. That was a very good job. That kind of represented the South when, lynching was a big thing, and you could feel like kind of the pain and the sadness that's going on in there. All right, the next one. Can the second group have a volunteer, please? Whoever was going to. Okay. You're going to read the Thursday, September 11th, 1919.
Open?
Yes.
I knew it was too good to be true. Nobody had teased us about being Southern. We didn't talk slow and split our verbs. We were clean and our hair was combed and we even wore ribbons. And we made sure nobody called us by two names. But all Amanda was waiting for was a reason to get on to us. And sure enough, she did. Where did you two get those Manning-made dresses, she asked. Mama has always made our clothes. She refuses to buy clothes that we can't try on, so she makes them for us. Next to what the other children wore in the corners, our dresses look like something princesses would wear. But here in Chicago they look, well, Manning-made. To make matters worse, a woman from the health department came and passed out free soap. Make sure you use it, Amanda said before she started off to get in her motor car. I do not like that girl.
Thank you. All right, so now you can see this is after they got to Chicago, when the big booming cities, they were still faced with segregation and being not treated so nicely. Not to the same extreme as lynching in the South, but now in the North, you're getting, oh, you don't look the same as us. And that's when segregation all across America started becoming really prevalent. But for this activity, as you read, it says like included the who, because it was an African-American girl writing it, the where, Chicago, and kind of what was going on. So that's what I want you guys to do. In your groups, I want you to create one journal entry, and you can all write it on your piece of paper, but when you turn it in, I'll know which group you were in. And I want you guys to include at least two of the following components. Who, as in, if you want to be a white American writing this, who's coming into your town? Or what's happening in America at this time? I want you to do the when, what time era or year. And then the what caused you to move, what did you see or experience, how was it compared to North or South, and where you were coming from or where you were going. Is it? Everybody kind of understand what I'm expecting? I want at least two so that I know that you guys understand some of the components of the Great Migration. So if you guys want to get to your groups and work on that as a whole, and then we'll go over those in the next session. But you guys have, about 2 minutes to work on that. And it only has to be 3 to 5 sentences. It doesn't have to be anything very long. Alright, if you guys just can, even if it's just an outline for now, just jot something down so that next time we can go through this. Alright, if you guys could just, wrap up real quick, and I'll try to give you guys some more time later, and then we'll be able to go over at least who you're writing from, at least some of the facts that I actually learned.